guys, how are you? I have a special guest. Okay,
Hi guys.
I was gonna say the two of us are alone in the house, but we're not. We're with our electrician.
He is a savior.
Yes. So our house is always full of people all the time. So what we're on here to talk about today quickly is being in alignment together as a couple, and when things go upstream or downstream, and how to maneuver through that. Because sometimes people are always like, how do you work with your spouse, or how do you make decisions with your spouse, or how are you and your spouse in alignment? And I do have to say, and I don't know how we've done this, maybe just because we lived with each other for 20 years.
Earplugs.
No, he's deaf. He listened to too much Metallica lifting weights when he was 20. True story. Maybe because we've been together so long, but we are almost always in alignment almost all the time.
I think it goes back to the first of the year when we do planning sessions, communication, and our goals. We're in alignment, and we trust each other.
Yeah, because even like you guys, this is funny. One of our goals for 2019 was to not talk about moving to a particular area. Okay, we're gonna do a separate Facebook Live on that.
Can I just say our goal was no real estate?
No real estate.
And this is number 2 for the year. So that one we failed
miserably. It's number 2 real estate transaction for the year. So we're gonna come back and talk about that. Like we said, no real estate and no moving to a certain area. And we bought real estate and moved to a certain area. But we're gonna come back and talk about the power of what you want, what you don't want on a separate live.
Yeah, but I do think, just to tie that piece up, I think intuition played a role in that, because we evaluated each scenario, and it was the right move to move forward with those pieces.
Okay, so what happened was, you guys, it was like, I don't know, April or May, and I kind of was like, okay, here's the deal. I've had enough of this drive, and I'm ready to move, okay? And Jason was not really ready to move, and I was actually not ready to get rid of this house. I was just ready to physically be at a different part of town. And, I mean, it's like, let me just say, I've been the one that's mostly attached to this house, although you had phases also.
For sure.
Right? Like the house would be on the market, and he'd be standing out in the dock, and he'd be like, why are we selling this house? I'm like, I know. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me just say, we were like, if it's easy and everything goes downstream, we're going to go for it.
Right.
And if it's not easy and we come up against obstacles, and the obstacles are like, we have a really great business, and our business is in flow right now. We're spending a lot of time with our little man, and I'm really spending a lot of time this year on my health, and Jason's gone half the week. And so we were like, if we were gonna get too much resistance, we were just going to like pull out.
For sure.
There was no resistance. Like inflow, like put this house on the market, sold, right? Looked for houses, found one.
And the funny thing is, whenever we, at least for me, I can't speak for Amber, but when something would come up and you're like, why are we selling this? Then something kind of major happens.
In
it's
the
like,
house.
Oh yeah, that's why we're selling this.
Yeah, like
2 weeks prior, or not even, is it 2 weeks before we close? Something major is happening with the electricity in the house.
Right, electrician here, right? And then, I mean, it's just, I can't remember what else happened, but I'm not going to recall it, right?
Yeah,
it's just like,
stuff.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our message basically is, when things are moving downstream for you and you're in flow, right? And the universe is working for you, and you just put it out there, and then you let it go. We kept saying, like, we're just not attached to anything. Like, if this house sells, great. If the house doesn't sell, great. If we buy the other house, great. Now, buying a house and getting a loan as self-employed humans in this 2019, and getting loans, it's not the easiest thing. And like improving your income, and so we were just expecting so many obstacles with that too. We're like, all right, if there's too many obstacles that come up, great, we'll pull out. And then my parents are so awesome. I'm like, watch, we're gonna sell this house and then
not have anywhere to
live. And so my parents like, we gotta figure it out. I was like, Mom, we might be moving in with you because we are.
They already had that figured out. That we were gonna move into their bedroom. They were gonna go into the spare bedroom so we could have Augie and us in one, and the dogs in one bedroom.
Yeah, and the nanny.
But I would say, open to everything, attached to nothing. We really were detached to the outcome. We knew we'd sold the house. It'll work out either way. Whatever happens in the back end is great.
Yep. Open everything, attached to nothing. And even like, we're pretty like, whatever. So like what would happen is like our realtor would call us, and then the loan guy would call us. They're awesome. They're just so awesome humans. And then yesterday our realtor Jody comes over and she brings me a gift, and she goes, yeah, I just told people the Wicks are people that just land on their feet. Right?
Yeah.
So now you can become that person, right? So Jason and I've had a lot of practice, and we've had a lot of like self-development and self-growth, and we've worked on it, and you guys are watching an outcome of 20 years of work, right? But you can choose to make steps.
We have a long ways to go, but at least I do.
Yeah, of course. It's like you guys can choose to make steps to feel. Like, does this feel downstream, or am I forcing something, right? Is this feeling easy, or is this feeling difficult? You guys, like, if you tap in a little bit and just like, you know what I find sometimes, like when I'm like breathing up here in my chest, I'm like, you're like, oh, right? And I'm anxious. I'm like, okay, that's just my indicator to be like, okay, just simmer down and breathe a little bit. And why are you like so up in your throat and chest and breathing, right? And like, just take a moment to like settle in. Like, is this too difficult? Is this too like, are you up against too much resistance? And then we got a phone call the other day, and they were like, okay, you're clear to close.
No conditions.
No conditions. We're like, okay, I guess that's our sign, clear to close. So.
And enjoy the process along the way, because the unexpected does happen. You're like, well, isn't that interesting? And now going to solution oriented. Is it, do we move forward or do we not? But for the most part, we moved forward for this process and enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's a good
point. It was
point.
entertaining.
It's entertaining. If you look at it like, oh, that's entertaining. Oh, of course that would happen. Yeah, of course somebody would find that. Yeah, that's interesting. Then again, it's say it again, open to everything.
Attached to nothing.
Attached to nothing. That's what it is. Open to everything, attached to nothing.